said to myself, Coach Gerlich is really working on being on time.
I am,
Make
yes.
sure
You
that
know,
I'm on time.
I'm working on our girls having good practices so we can just bounce right in here.
Right.
We're going to start with questions for Jada first. Jada, we've heard from your coach earlier in the season that y'all had a talk. I think after like the Texas State game that she believes in you and your production. And can you just, from your perspective, talk about your growth over these last 6 games or so?
Yeah, of course. So that's one of the main reasons why I came here, my connection with Coach Gerlich when I first came on my visit. She's always told me she believes in me. She's told me what I need to do for the team. And this year I think I've been growing just with trying to fit into a new system because I have been somewhere for 4 years. So it's been a little difficult. But I just think it's been really awesome just having her believe in me and like accepting my little mistakes here and there and the growing pains, but definitely growing. So, yeah.
What's impressed me about you is like, can you feel for the game down low, just passing and all of that? Where does that come from? Do you watch film? Is there someone that you watch specifically, or have you just kind of always had that feel for it?
So that also came from my year being injured. So when I got to sit on the bench a lot, I got to see, the little extra passes or little spots in the corner, and even how defenses rotate. And pretty much everybody rotates the same, so I know which open spots are able to hit.
And you're a senior on this team. There's a lot of them, but y'all bring your perspectives. I guess as the schedule kind of eases up a little bit, playing games-wise, y'all have been playing a lot, and now you just have a couple. I guess what is kind of the message between teammates to stay focused there?
Yeah, I mean, as you said, we're all seniors, so I don't think it's more so of a focus thing. I think it's us making sure that we really make sure that our little things that need to be fixed on our part are fixed before we get into these Big 12 games that are, going to be decided by the last basket or, 5 seconds left on the shot clock. So just making sure that we are doing exactly what we're supposed to be doing, even if we're, better than another team.
And the last one for me, a really tough one. They're doing a teddy bear toss tomorrow. I think they're giving away to like the Covenant Hospital to kids. Did you have like a favorite teddy bear or pillow pet growing up, or do you still have one?
I actually did have one of the pillow pets. I had a ladybug. I literally loved it so much, and then it broke, and it started, the stuffing inside of it started going out in the dryer, so my mom threw it away. And I was so sad. But yes, I did have one. I had a ladybug.
I was about to ask, how did it break? How does a teddy bear
Yeah.
break? Wear and tear.
Yes.
Wear and tear. Yeah.
Love that thing.
I know it's not a goal, but to see the net ranking of you guys being 21st, and then you look in the polls and you're this close to being ranked, what is the talk in the locker room about where you guys are as you get prepared to start Big 12 play here in a little bit?
Yeah, I think it speaks to our connection. Like, we made sure that all the new people felt like it was family, and the people that were still here felt the change of the new people being here. So I think being able to see 21 in the net rankings is just all of our little hard work and all the little extra conversations in the locker room. Like, that stuff matters, for sure.
You mentioned it in your previous answer about, regardless of the opponent's record, Wichita State comes in here with a, not a great record.
Yeah.
How do you block that out and focus on what you guys need to do?
Yeah, I think it's easy when you play teams like that to just play down to your competition, but it's also important to maintain the fundamentals because you're going to need them for even the big games at TCU, and like that's something that's really important. So just focusing on that.
Jada, can you just talk about your confidence and how it's grown over the last 4 or 5 games? Because it's really been evident.
Yeah, I think my confidence comes from Coach Gerlich letting me make those little mistakes. I mean, I wasn't super sure where I was going to be in the offense and how my little scoring would transfer from the SEC even to the Big 12 because it is a little bit more of a physical conference. So I think that my confidence just came from being able to play and getting out there a little bit more and having a coach that trusts you with literally everything. So.
You're leading the team in offensive rebounds. Is that something that you strive for?
Yes, I do. I mean, I think one of my biggest strong suits is helping my team maintain possessions and get extra possessions. So, yeah, of course, that's one of them.
And then you've really been calling for the ball and really been pounding inside. You're not afraid to get physical, are you?
Not even a little bit.
Thanks, Jada. Good job, Jada.
Thanks.
Yeah, Coach, I guess we haven't seen you in 3 games, especially last week with the Thanksgiving games. What did you take away from your team's kind of performance there?
It was a really good road trip. I was just super proud of how focused we were and how determined we were to play at a high level. And I thought we handled each opponent and each environment really well. I just thought that our mindset was really good. I thought that our attention to detail was really good. I thought that our togetherness was excellent, and especially in New Mexico, because that's a really hard place to play. And, we didn't really give their crowd an opportunity to get in it once we got the lead. And I just felt like our kids were really together. We've talked a lot about just pushing through adversity and being disciplined and continuing to do the right thing. And I think to Jada's points of just focusing on the details whenever we play, some of these teams that we're playing, is that we want to continue to improve. And I think that this team has done that. Even when we went to Frisco and didn't have the best start against ODU, but I felt like our kids stuck together and really fought hard. I think that our defense traveled, and that's what we talked about from the get-go, is that we wanted our defense and our toughness to travel, and I think we're seeing that. And I just think these kids are having fun playing basketball and playing together, and that chemistry is what is carrying us right now.
You mentioned the defense, especially in the half court. They're just playing really together, good chemistry. I think they're one of the best statistically rated defenses in the country. What do you attribute that to?
Yeah, I think just the practices that we've had and the attention to detail, to be honest. We've always stressed defense, and I think to have a staff that really understands it and is willing to help us continue to hold kids accountable and to just make them have a lot of pride in their defense. I think that that's what we've always wanted our teams to be about, and I think we've consistently played pretty good defense here, but I think that it's a different level now. I think it's a different athlete that we have. I think we do have some really good athletes, and we've recruited to that specifically, to our defense specifically, and I think that our kids just understand the rotations. They take a lot of pride in getting stops, and they're being physically and mentally tough to be able to get those stops.
It feels like y'all have been switching between defenses more this year. Is that something about the personnel or the trust of the basketball IQ of this team, or what is it?
Yeah, definitely the way we wanted our philosophy and our system to be. And I think that where that comes from is that we were able to play so much this summer that our kids are just further along. So they really understand our defensive principles and how we can change our defenses, and they've bought into that. And I think that obviously Coach Walters has done a great job of continuing to preach on the little things and when we change defenses. I think that's been really key for us as well. But our kids are really buying into it, and they really understand the different defenses that we get in and what we're trying to take away.
And same thing I asked Jada. Did you have like a favorite pillow pet or stuffed animal growing up, or still have?
I actually was telling them that I have a box somewhere that has 3 stuffed animals in it from my childhood, and one is a teddy bear, one is a monkey, actually. That this is a little bit of trivia that I won in a 2nd grade beauty pageant, like a little doll pageant or whatever, and I got 3rd place. And I got a stuffed animal. And anyway, so yes, and so I've kept those. Those are the 3, and I can't remember what the 3rd one is, but I've kept those 3 stuffed animals my entire time to hopefully share with my grandchildren one day. But anyway, just super fun. Yeah, just a little keepsake.
So one of those sock monkeys, one of those things?
No, it wasn't. It was those. It has suspenders. It has a little banana that you can put in its mouth. Like, it's fantastic. It's the cutest thing.
A lot better than a sock monkey. What are your thoughts? I know rankings aren't important, but at the same time, it kind of shows what they're doing, and I'm sure you have to be pleased seeing them climb steadily before you guys head into conference play.
Yeah, no, we want to see hard work paid off, right? We want to see the fruits of our labor for sure, and I think also it helps us tell our team. We've really educated our team on what it takes to get in the NCAA tournament. And, part of it is your scheduling. Part of it is what you do with your schedule. And our kids are doing exactly what they're supposed to be doing within the schedule that we've put in front of them. And, I really think the reason that we're ranked as high as we are right now is because of the New Mexico win. Because when you go on to an opponent's home floor and beat them by 20 or more points, that really helps you in the net. And obviously protecting home court. And we've talked a lot about that we have to continue to stay focused on that and not worry about the rankings, let those take care of themselves. But that we've got to continue to stay focused, because a loss at home to any team, right, is going to really affect your net. But I think we've educated our kids well. I think we're being really honest with them and transparent and trying to tell them where we want this program to be and where we want it to go. And if they'll do the things we're asking them to do, those types of things will take care of itself. And so far they are.
You kind of mentioned needing to work on some things. What are some specific things over the next couple of weeks before conference play you want to see this team improve on?
Yeah, we talk to our kids a lot about when we have an extra day of practice that we've got to really focus and get back in the lab, if you will, and focus on the details. So on, I can't remember what day it was, but 3 days ago, we practiced and really focused on some defensive things like some midline help and rebounding and getting to our spot 1 and spot 2 rotations. Just some things that got a little bit laxed in our string of games that we played where we didn't get to have reminders in practice for. So things like that. Offensively, really just continuing to work on flow and not letting the ball stick and getting used to playing with one another and not being quite so robotic in some of the things we're doing. We want to play in space, and we want to be able to, read defenses without having to necessarily call a set. So I think that we've worked on some of those things. And obviously against North Texas, we weren't pleased at all with our turnovers. And so clearly we've talked about that and addressed it and just tried to work on some details to help continue to help our chemistry and our flow stay ahead of the game, because I think we're ahead of the curve because of the time that we had this summer, and we can't peak too soon, and I don't think we are by any means. I don't think we've played our best basketball even close yet, but we're playing definitely good enough to win basketball games.
Coach, what do you think's causing the turnovers? Do you think you're playing too fast, or is there something that you're seeing?
I really thought we were just pretty careless against North Texas. I think we got a little bit lax, which is something that we were addressing about, competing and not, for lack of better words, playing down to a level. You want to continue to be crisp. You want to continue to be sharp. I do think fatigue played a little bit of a role in that, because that was our third game in 5 days. But at the same time, that's what we're going to have to do, moving forward. And so our kids need to be able to still think sharp, play sharp when they're fatigued. So I think that's probably led to most of it, but just making sure that we don't get lackadaisical. We've been really harping on our kids about not being complacent and not being satisfied with where they are right now.
What concerns you about Wichita State?
The fact that they're hungry. I mean, I think they're well coached. I think Terry does a great job. And I think that, obviously I think the transfer portal hurt him in the offseason, but he's, getting his kids going. They've played some people close. They've, it's just a matter of learning his system. I think he does a really great job defensively. Their athleticism is tough and their offensive rebounding is tough. So we're going to have to make sure that we don't get sloppy and that we don't let them create some turnovers against us, and that we keep them off the board so that we can keep them in lower possessions.
A couple shooters, number 2 and number 4, Cater and Harding. They're potent, aren't they?
Yeah, they can absolutely shoot the basketball, yeah. So we got to make sure we get to them while protecting the paint against their bigs.
Who have you been happy with that maybe we haven't talked about?
So I don't know if you saw, well, Jada Malone for sure, but Jada's stat line and Gemma's stat line were really, really good. Gemma is one of those that, like, she does, her stat line's incredible looking, but it's not great enough to get her in the paper, you know what I mean, or talked about or on the news or whatever. But when you're getting 6 to 7 rebounds, assists, points, steals even, like, that's big time. And so she's really doing a great job of just leading us. I thought she had a couple of turnovers against Old Dominion that were very unlike her, but I thought she reeled it back in. And then Jada is just being really consistent, and I think she's just going to get better and better at the right time, because we definitely need an inside presence when we get to Big 12.
You mentioned the transfer portal, the effects on that for Wichita State. We talk about the effects that you feel like that had for Texas Tech.
Yeah, I thought it was super positive for us. You know, I think that we've added some great players. I mean, we have Jada, we have Snetta, we have Sydney Love, we had Gemma. Those are 4 key players for us, and I think they certainly have filled some spots where we had some holes and had some missing pieces, and they were exactly what we needed. So it's been super positive for us, and you know, I think that our kids have bought into it, and we're lucky that we did have this summer to be able to get them acclimated sooner. And I think that's what you're seeing for other teams, is that it's just taking them longer. Like I think it's taking Wichita State just longer to get his kids acclimated because he didn't have the whole summer to practice the way we did. So they're going to be very good, and I think it's just a matter of when they start clicking.
And you mentioned being further along, having more time in the summer. Is that different between other years and how you got more time this summer?
Yes, because we got to play in the World University Games, and so we got full on practice for the summer long. I mean, like we didn't have an hour limitation, and we got our full team, so that was really nice. And then obviously the competition of the games that we got to play while we were over there. Thank you guys for coming in.